Have you ever had a teacher tell you that your child's doing fine at school, and meanwhile at home, they're having daily meltdowns, refusals, or shutdowns? It can make you feel like you're living in two totally separate realities, one where your autistic child is fine, and another where they're completely falling apart. But your child isn't being manipulative. They're masking. They're working incredibly hard to hold it together all day in an environment that drains every ounce of their energy. And sometimes that disconnect doesn't just cause frustration. It can sometimes mean that they don't get the help they need to break this difficult cycle. So today we're going to talk about when your child masks at school and falls apart at home, what you can do about it, how you can help the teacher understand what's going on and get your child the support that they need. If you're new here, I'm Andrea Pollack. I'm a parenting educator and coach, and I am the parent of a 26-year-old autistic young man, so I've been in your shoes. When teachers describe an autistic child as fine, what they often mean is they're quiet, they're compliant, they're not disruptive. But fine doesn't mean okay. Masking is when autistic kids hide distress to fit in, meet expectations, or avoid negative attention. It's a survival skill, not a sign of comfort. At school, they're performing safety. At home, they are finally safe enough to release everything they've been holding in all day. That's not defiance, it's relief and exhaustion. And here's why teachers miss it. Most teachers genuinely want to help. They just don't see what happens outside the walls of school. They see compliance, not collapse. So when you describe meltdowns or refusals at home, it can sound to them like two different children. And that misunderstanding has real consequences. Sometimes the "they're fine at school" narrative becomes a barrier to getting an IEP, a 504 plan, or even basic supports within the classroom. You find yourself having to prove your child's needs, fighting against a tide of misunderstanding when you're already stretched to your limit. To make matters harder, sometimes teachers, maybe unintentionally, suggest that if you just provided the same structure at home that they have at school, your child would behave better at home too. And that can make parents question themselves or hesitate to press the point. It's hard to keep advocating when you feel judged. But here's what those comments miss entirely. It's not that the home environment lacks structure, it's that the school environment is so taxing that there's simply nothing left when your child gets home. Even if your home were perfectly structured, they still wouldn't have the capacity to give more because you can't give when your balance is zero. Every ounce of their focus, self-regulation, and restraint is spent on just getting through the day, navigating noise, transitions, expectations, and sensory overload. By the time they're home, their emotional and physical reserves are completely depleted. So instead of trying to match the school structure, your job is to restore balance to help them recharge. And when it comes to school advocacy, your best tool is patience paired with certainty. Instead of trying to win the argument in one meeting, start by painting the bigger picture over time. Help teachers see that what they observe during the day is just one slice of your child's full experience. Stay anchored in your own knowing. You've seen your child's exhaustion. You've lived the fallout. You don't need to be defensive, just steady. I know, easier said than done, but if this is what you're navigating right now, it's your best path forward. Because sometimes advocacy isn't about pushing harder, it's about standing firm in your truth until others are ready to understand it. And let's talk about your child's perspective. Masking isn't just exhausting, it can be painful. When your child finally unravels at home, they often feel shame afterward. They might believe, if anyone at school saw this side of me, they'd stop liking me. That belief chips away at their self-esteem. It teaches them that their authentic self, their full autistic self, is something to hide. For older kids and teens, this is where we can begin shifting the story. You can help them name what's happening. You worked so hard to hold it together all day, that's why you're tired now. Masking doesn't mean you did something wrong, it means school took a lot out of you. And as they grow, you can begin helping them advocate for themselves. It's okay to tell a teacher when something feels overwhelming. It's okay to say, I need a break, or I can't do this right now. You're not just teaching self-advocacy, you're teaching self-acceptance. I do know how hard this is. You hold the line all day, and when your child comes home, everything explodes. As a parent under these circumstances, it's easy to feel defeated, like you're doing something wrong. But when you respond with calm leadership and love, you're modeling the exact safety that your child needs to rebuild themselves. That might look like staying close but quiet during a meltdown, offering a calm space or weighted blanket instead of words, saying, "You had a long day, I'm here." And when someone, maybe a teacher or even a family member, says, "You're being too soft," you can calmly say, "This isn't about giving in, it's about helping my child regulate so that they can learn." That response sets a boundary without defensiveness. It reframes strength as understanding, not control. Key is that you have to really believe that first. If you believe that with all your heart, those words will roll off your tongue. So the place for you to start is to make sure that you fully believe that you are doing the best by your child, to allow them to restore, allow them to recoup, and support that process. And if you have other children, this can feel especially hard. While one child is melting down, another might be waiting for help with homework or dinner, or just wanting your attention. And you can feel pulled in every direction. It's even harder when siblings start to notice and say, "It's not fair." You're holding them to different standards. You might be holding them to different standards because your autistic child's capacity is different, and that's okay. In my opinion, the best approach is honesty, not denial. You can tell the sibling, "I know it feels unfair sometimes. Your brother or sister and I are doing the best we can. You don't have to fall apart to get what you need. I'll keep trying to give you, each of you, the care that fits you best." That may feel inadequate in the moment, but it's far better than pretending everybody's treated the same or saying, "There's nothing to see here." Naming their feelings builds trust, and it keeps resentment from taking root, while still honoring what each child truly needs. If your autistic child melts down after school, it's not a failure. It's evidence that they've been trying their hardest in a world that demands more than they can give. They don't need tougher discipline. They need recovery time, compassion, and adults who see beyond the surface. So when a teacher says they're fine, you can hold on to your knowledge that it's something deeper. They're doing their best to appear fine, and that takes everything they've got. And your job isn't to make them tougher, it's to make them safe enough to be themselves. If you found this helpful, you might want to watch one of my earlier videos, Confidently Talk to Your Autistic Child's Teacher. I'll link it below in the description box. Because when teachers truly see your child, everything starts to change. You're not being weak, you're being wise. So when a teacher says they're fine, you can hold on to your knowledge that it's something deeper. They're doing their best to appear fine, and that takes everything they've got. And your job isn't to make them tougher, it's to make them safe enough to be themselves. If you found this helpful, you might want to watch one of my earlier videos, Confidently Talk to Your Autistic Child's Teacher. I'll link it below in the description box. Because when teachers truly see your child, everything starts to change. You're not being weak, you're being wise. If you like this, I hope you'll consider giving it a like. And if you know another parent who could benefit from the message, please send it along, and I'll see you in the next one.